Hello and welcome. This is Leah Petrucci. I am your host for tonight's episode, tonight's live stream for the online gathering place. Just going to give a minute or two for people to trickle in. I actually don't expect a lot of people to join live tonight because it is the week before Christmas. So I know a lot of people are busy trying to get last minute things together. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about tonight is the theme for tonight's live stream is called Invisible Grounding. Ways to calm your nervous system without anyone knowing what you're doing. So that's what I'm going to be teaching y'all tonight. So if you're watching the replay, hello and welcome. And nobody live yet, but hopefully some people will trickle in as we go along. So a couple of things before we get started. I introduced myself, but again, this is called the Online Gathering Place. This is a volunteer project that a couple of us have gotten together to offer free content on an online platform, different online platforms for people who just need to relax a little bit, need to break up their day, maybe need some nervous system, maybe need to calm their nervous system and calm their anxiety, maybe boost their mood, maybe they're feeling a little bit down because of the holidays. Lots of reasons that we do this. And so we bring this to you several times a week. I personally do these live streams every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And usually I do mental health related activities, because I am a licensed mental health counselor and I'm also a holistic health and lifestyle coach. So I love to talk about ways that we can practice better health and have better mental health, and also ways we can have better relationships. And also sometimes I'll throw in some spirituality things in there too. So those 4 pillars of holistic health: mind, body, spirituality, and relationships. So, all right, well, let's get started with the activities for tonight. I've got my hot beverage. So if you want to go grab something to drink, feel free to do that. I always have my hot beverage in my Golden Girls mug for you Golden Girls fans. Highly recommend watching repeat episodes, especially when you're feeling down and you need some laughs. Go and find out where you go online and Google, where can I stream Golden Girls? So let's get started on tonight's activities. You're not going to need any tools. You just need your hands. All right. So let me get over to the slides for tonight. Okay. So tonight's topic is invisible grounding techniques. So what is a grounding technique? Grounding technique really refers to, if you literally think about the ground, there's also a term called earthing, which grounding means just feeling yourself connected to the ground, quite literally. There's other techniques we're going to talk about that are not literally grounding. Literal grounding is placing your feet on the ground and just kind of noticing what your feet feel like on the ground. So you're connecting, you're getting into your body, in other words. So you're coming down out of that fight or flight response, that stress response. When we start to go into an anxiety presentation, you're coming down from that, maybe overthinking, maybe, just starting to climb up on the scale of anxiety towards panic. So we're grounding you, or having you come back down, getting your nervous system to come down from the fight or flight response into a rest and digest or peace relaxation response. And that's called grounding, literally just kind of coming down to earth. There's also a term called earthing, which is quite literally taking off your shoes, going outside, putting your feet in the dirt or the sand, wherever you are, and feeling your feet connect with the soil and that very kind of cool, soft, smooth feeling of feeling your feet connect with the earth. I love to do that at the beach. That's called earthing, but it can also be called grounding. So I'm going to teach you several different grounding techniques tonight. And the point of these grounding techniques is that no one's going to know what you're doing. And so these really come in handy when we are going to, holiday gatherings, when we are in a business meeting, let's say. Maybe we're at a party. Maybe we're talking to somebody and we're having a lot of anxiety. So I'm going to teach you ways that you can ground, calm your nervous system, calm your anxiety when no one's going to know what you're doing. There are, of course, other grounding techniques that you can do that are more obvious, but I'm going to teach you the ones for tonight that are going to be discreet. So let's get to the very first technique, and that is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. It is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique because we are going to go over the 5 different senses. So what are our 5 senses? So we have sight, we have smell, we have touch, we have taste, and we have sound or hearing. So we're going to basically go through all of those. And these are things that you can kind of do mentally where no one can really know what you're thinking. It's a cognitive exercise, can also be a physical exercise. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's go down the line. We'll start with 5. So right now, what I want you to do, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're watching from, I want you to either out loud, if you can, or in your mind, name 5 things that you can see. So obviously, if you're in a gathering and you can't say it out loud, or you don't want to say it out loud, just notate in your mind 5 things that you see. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, 5 things that I see. I see the light that I have set up, the ring light right above here. I see my blanket over here. I see the partition in the back of me. I see my phone, and I see my purse. Okay, so those are 5 things. So what you're doing there is you're getting in touch with your sense of sight, your vision. You are distracting the thoughts. Maybe you're starting to have some anxious thoughts. Maybe you're starting to go in your head of, uh-oh, I'm starting to panic. And so what this is doing is it's distracting, and it's engaging your cognitive brain and just getting you to get in touch with your 5 senses. So by just naming 5 different things that you can see right away. Now you could stop there if you want, or you could continue to just kind of go around the room and just look at objects and kind of name them, or you could continue going on down this technique. So the next one is 4. So we're going to name 4 things you can touch. So at this time, what I want you to do wherever you are is grab 4 things that are nearby. Okay, for me, I'm going to grab my mug. And what I'm going to do is just kind of feel it. Just kind of focus on, what does it feel like? Okay, well, this mug feels really warm because I have a warm cup of tea. So I'm just going to kind of focus on what it feels like and that sensation of warmth. So that's one thing. Okay, another thing is, okay, I've got my microphone here, actually. I got my fuzzy little shotgun mic. And so I'm feeling it, and you might be able to hear me touching on it. Sorry if it's making crackling noises, but I'm feeling it. It's kind of furry. So this would be a great thing to do if you have a pet nearby. Grab a nearby pet and just give them a little bit of love and attention. I'm sure they'll love it. And what does it feel like? Just really try to focus on that sensation. All right, let's move on. Okay, now I'm going to touch my blanket. I have a blanket over here that's very furry and soft. So I love to sleep with that blanket at night and just kind of rub my fingers over it and just drift off to sleep. It's a very soothing sensation. So let's pick one more. Let's see. Okay, I've got my bottle of essential oils. So I'm just kind of holding it in my hand, and I'm just going to kind of rub it around from hand to hand and just kind of feel what that sensation feels like. And if it helps, close your eyes and just focus on what does it feel like in your hand? What is the texture? Is it hard or soft? Is it furry? Is it smooth? What is the shape? And just kind of really focus on that object. Okay, so I think you kind of get the point there. So that was 4 things that you can touch. Now we're going to move on to 3. So let's pick 3 things that we can hear. So I hear, if I stop and listen, I hear the sound of my air purifier, which is actually in the corner here, and it's kind of making a little bit of a white noise sound. I also hear the air conditioning. I hear the sound of my own voice. So there's 3 things. So I want you to notate 3 things that you hear right now. Of course, one of those things is most likely my voice. You hear my voice. What are 2 other things that you hear in the room? If you just sit still for a moment. Do you hear any noises outside? Do you hear any creaking? You hear the air conditioning. So you can do this at any time. Just kind of stop and just tune into your sense of sound and tune into the noises that you may hear. All right, moving on to the 2 things. Now we're going to pick 2 things that we smell. So you may not smell anything right off the bat. And this is where you can grab something and smell it. Of course, I have my handy essential oils. And I always love to have essential oils with me. I carry them in my purse because whenever I need to just take an inhale, just to get grounded, to come down from that fight or flight response, I just take an inhale, or I might plug up one nostril and tap up and down the other nostril while I'm breathing in, and then I might repeat on the other side. If you've ever watched any of my other live streams or videos on YouTube, you'll see this trick. This is the olfactory nerve number 1, because it's our sense of smell, and our sense of smell goes straight to the brain, goes to our emotion center of the brain, actually. So it might actually be a feel-good emotion if it's a good smell, that is. So I said pick 2. So that for me was geranium. This is my absolute favorite, by the way, essential oil from doTERRA. If you'd like, I'll include at the end of the video. Stay tuned. I'll talk about how you can get your hands on some good quality essential oils. The second one I'm going to choose is frankincense. Frankincense. It is also one of my favorites. And I love that it has a little roller ball. See how it has that little ball at the top? So I like to take it behind my ear, and then I might rub some on my neck like that, because then I can actually continue to smell it, and just as a soothing, relaxing feeling. So those are my 2 cents. Crack myself up. Get it? 2 cents. Okay. Moving on. So after you've picked 2 things that you smell, you can literally grab whatever you want. You can go grab a piece of fruit, maybe an orange, an apple, maybe you have some flowers, maybe you have some kind of plants nearby, just something you like the smell of, and just really take it in. Notice what it smells like. Here's a hint, though. You want to pick something non-toxic. You don't really want to inhale a bunch of chemicals that are toxic to the body. And one way you might know is that, oh, hey, Rachel, you snuck in there. I just noticed that somebody left a comment. So I just wanted to say hello to our viewer. Hey, Rachel, thanks for tuning in. So yes, the The sense of smell is, definitely important to have it be non-toxic. And there are ways that you can tell if your nervous system likes that scent or not. If you have any kind of unpleasant feelings after you inhale, if you start feeling nauseated or anxious, even if your nervous system starts to get worse, then your nervous system didn't like that smell, and it's probably toxic to you, and it's probably not something that you need to have in your arsenal. So I definitely advocate for good quality essential oils. And again, if you're interested in getting some, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll tell you where you can get some. All right. And then the last one is the one that's at the end of this technique is name one thing that you can taste. So I want you to go grab something that you can taste. I already have my cup of tea. So, but here's some other options. You could go grab a peppermint. You could grab a stick of gum. Stay away from the ones with a lot of sugar, though. A piece of food, a piece of chocolate, piece of dark chocolate, a piece of dark chocolate that's high in cacao is actually very good for you. So take something to taste and then just put it in your mouth and just really focus on how that sensation is and that flavor. Just enjoy it. Don't inhale it. Really enjoy the flavor. In fact, that's how we really should eat more of the time, is we need to eat very mindfully. We need to slow down and enjoy that flavor and really just take it in. Okay, so that was called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So you can see you can do that. And you can do that mentally where no one really knows what you're doing. So when I looked around the room and named 5 things, I can do it in my mind. The things that you touch, you literally can just grab it and just hold on to it, and nobody has to know what you're doing. When you're thinking of the audio, you're thinking of that. You don't have to say anything. The things that you smell and taste. Okay, someone might see you maybe taking an inhale of an essential oil. Who cares, right? You like the smell of it. You can even say, would you like some? And then the thing that you taste, whatever, so this is something that people aren't really going to be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? They're not really going to know what you're doing. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, which is called progressive muscle relaxation. So progressive muscle relaxation is it's a meditative practice where we literally are going to take different muscle groups and we're going to squeeze. We'll start with the hands just as an example. We're going to take that muscle group. We're going to use the fists. We're just going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as hard as you can for about 5 seconds. And then we're going to relax. Okay, try that again. Squeeze your hands, squeeze, 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 tight, 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 and then relax. So the practice of doing progressive muscle relaxation is really to intentionally get your muscles to relax. And no one has to know that you're doing this. You literally could do your entire body. But I would suggest that if you are in front of people, to probably do your lower half of your body, because if you do the top half, for example, if you squeeze your forehead muscles, for example, and then relax, someone might be like, what's going on with your eyes? What's going on with your head? So my suggestion would be, if someone is watching or if you're around other people, start from your lower half, or actually start with your fists, but you can have your fists either in your lap or underneath a table, and no one has to see what you're doing. So you can do this anywhere. Again, if you're at a family dinner, if you're at a family gathering, you can hold your hands by your side and do it. If you're at a business meeting, a party, whatever. So we did it with the hands. Let's do it with the legs now. So wherever you're sitting, go ahead and just squeeze your thigh muscles. Squeeze your thigh muscles as hard as you can for about 5 seconds. And then relax. Almost forces you to take a breath in, right? And that's good because then that is an indication that your nervous system is kicking in and it's starting to come back down. All right, so let's do that one again. So take your thighs muscles and just squeeze, 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 almost like you're doing like a squat. Squeeze and then relax. Okay, let's move down. In fact, let's get the glutes because that's the buttocks muscles. Let's get those muscles because we sit, or at least if you're like me and you have a job where you're sitting most of the day, these muscles need a little bit of workout. So let's take the glute muscles and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Like you're doing a squat. And relax. It just kind of, again, forces you to breathe out. Okay, one more time. Squeeze those glute muscles. And then relax. Okay, let's do the calves. Let's do the calves. That's the lower part of the legs. So go ahead and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the calves. And relax. Okay. And then let's do the feet. Let's do the feet. All right, so squeeze your feet as hard as you can, like curl your toes under, squeeze, and then relax. And we're going to do that one more time. Take your feet, your toes, curl them under, squeeze them as hard as you can, and relax. Okay, that one definitely caused me to have what's called a spontaneous breath, which is a kind of a sigh. And that's a good sign, though, because that means your nervous system is shifting. It's downshifting, shifting from fight or flight down to rest and digest, or the peace response. Stress response is fight or flight. Peace response is rest and digest. The technical terms are sympathetic and parasympathetic, but don't expect you to remember that. So we're going to just use layman's terms. All right. So the next one is going to be belly breathing. This is a really easy thing to do, and you can do it anytime, anywhere, and it is one of the fastest ways to get your nervous system to downshift. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to do belly breathing. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to take one hand on your chest, and then I want you to put one hand on your belly. I'm going to stand up for this because I want you to see what my belly is doing. Now just breathe normally and notice, are you breathing more with your chest or are you breathing more with your belly? What we want to do for this exercise is I want you to push the belly out. Just focus on your hand on your belly and take a breath in. Actually, when you take a breath in, I want your hand to move out, kind of like you're filling up your belly with air. Almost picture a balloon. So when you breathe in, see how my belly moved out? And now I'm going to exhale and my belly went in. Okay, so let's try that again. Take a breath in and fill your belly with air like a balloon. And then exhale and go towards the back. Let's try that again. Take a breath in, fill that belly with air. Stick that belly out if you need to. And then exhale towards your back. Okay? So that's a simple way to do a belly breath, or what's called a diaphragmatic breath, which simply means our diaphragm. We're breathing from the diaphragm. And I'm actually going to quickly read you what are the benefits of belly breathing. It's one of the best types of breathing for us. You might have felt just from those few breaths, you might have felt the effects. You maybe feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you feel a little bit lightheaded. You don't want to get too lightheaded, so you definitely want to stop if it's too much. But yes, so belly breathing, several benefits. Automatically slows your heart rate down, slows your blood pressure, helping to relax and to calm you, and it works very quickly. It's one of the quickest ways to get that heart rate down and to reduce anxiety. It can lead to lower levels of cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So that's good. We all like to have lower levels of cortisol. It can boost energy levels within a few minutes of relaxation. So it can also boost your energy because you are relaxing that stress. It is most efficient. It is the most efficient and relaxed way of getting enough air in your lungs. So if you're struggling also to breathe, doing the belly breathing is a great way to get enough air back into the lungs. It allows increased awareness of your breath and its effects on the body. So if you really focus on your breath, it's going to take your mind off of temporarily, it's going to take your mind off of whatever it is you are stressing out about or that you're anxious about. If you're really focusing on that breath. And in a moment, we're going to do a very specific type of breathing called box breathing. And I'll show you what that is like. So belly breathing also improves blood oxygenation. So it gets oxygen back into the bloodstream. Also helps move lymphatic fluid, which is our toxin elimination system. So we need to get lymphatic fluid moving so we can excrete those toxins that we take on a daily basis. It also massages the abdominal organs, allowing for better digestion. Hey, yeah. We all need better digestion so we can absorb nutrients better from our food and so we can eliminate toxins. It can also help improve and increase your attention span. These are effects of belly breathing. So for those of you out there who struggle to focus, can't get distracted easily, try, if you've noticed that your mind is starting to wander, try doing a couple of belly breaths. And it also relieves tension in your neck and shoulders, which leads to better posture. So lots of benefits for belly breathing. All right, we're going to move on now to box breathing. We're going to move on to box breathing, which can also be done in a belly breath. They call it box breathing. I'm going to just show you a little worksheet here. The reason they call it box breathing is you're going to start right here where my finger is down here. And we're going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to do it together. I'm just going to show you before we do it. So you're going to inhale for 4 as you go up the square. Then we're going to hold for 4. Then we're going to exhale for 4. And then we're going to hold for 4. So you can do this by just picturing a square in your mind. You don't have to have this worksheet. So let's do it together. And we're going to we're going to do it this way. All right, we're going to inhale. Ready, and inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And relax. So you see how I did that by just drawing a box with my finger. Let's do that one more time. If you want, put one hand on your belly to try to help you to focus on filling your belly up with air. Okay, so ready, and inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. And relax. Okay. Can do that anywhere. And you don't have to do it out loud. You can do it in your mind. Picture a square. And literally, you can just do all of that in your mind, and no one has to know what you're doing. See, I just did it. And it was pretty discreet, I think. Okay, moving on. Next thing is vagus nerve reset. This is definitely one of my favorites because it's easy and effective, and it calms down the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is our largest cranial nerve. It's our 10th cranial nerve, brain. Cranial is brain. Sits at the base of the skull, and it connects our brain to our body, to all of our vital organs. It talks, the brain and the body talk to each other by way of the vagus nerve. So if the vagus nerve is clogged with stress hormones and isn't working properly, then we're going to struggle. We're not going to heal. We're not going to heal like we should. We're not going to eliminate toxins. We're going to have all kinds of symptoms. We're going to get flooded with cortisol, stress hormone. So there are several ways to reset the vagus nerve. And this is one of my favorites because it's quite easy to do and it doesn't take long. Now, the only key you need to remember is that you can't move your head. So normally what I do to keep my head from moving is I make a little L shape like this to make sure that my head doesn't move. Or I might put my arms behind my head like this to ensure that my head doesn't move while we do this. But we're talking about things that we're doing discreetly. So you might not want to do those things if you're in someone's company. So just kind of remember not to move your head. Keep straight forward. What you're doing, though, is you're looking to the right as far as you can comfortably without it hurting your eyes. And you're just going to hold that gaze for 30 seconds if you can. So let's go ahead and do that. Just make sure not to move your head. Just your eyes are going to look to the right. Keep breathing. And if you take that breath in and out like I just did, that means your nervous system's kicking in, so it's working. If your eyes start to hurt or like you start blinking rapidly, go ahead and stop. Okay. And I like to kind of flicker my eyes after that, just kind of reset that. This is a visual reset as well. So we're resetting the nervous system, the vagus nerve, through the visual system. So let's repeat that same thing, but we're going to look to the left. So remember, keep your head straight, but look to the left as far as you can comfortably and just hold. And people just kind of, if they see you doing this, they see you're just kind of looking at something. So they don't know what you're doing. They don't know you're doing a vagus nerve reset. Okay, there's my spontaneous breath. So I know my nervous system is kicking in and relaxing. All right, and relax. And I'm going to flutter my eyes just to kind of reset that. All right. Whew. And I notice right there that my range of motion in my neck is a little bit better. So that to me is an indication that my muscles are calming down and they are starting to relax. Therefore, I feel like I have better range of motion in my neck. We didn't do an assessment beforehand like we have in previous videos, but you can do that at any time. You can do a quick range of motion assessment by looking to the right or turning your head to the right and the left just to kind of gauge what's your range of motion. And then you can repeat afterwards to see if it's gotten any better. All right. But I hope that wasn't confusing about the turning the head. You're not going to turn your head when you're doing the actual vagus nerve reset. You're just going to look to the right and to the left. But what I meant was with the turning the head was just doing a range of motion assessment to see if your nervous system has calmed down, to see if you get any more range of motion. So I hope that was clear. All right, let's do another visual reset. This one is an easy one to do. It's called near far. So at any point when you find yourself starting to get anxious and you want to do a reset, or actually you might try this one too. Do you ever sometimes notice that your eyes just won't focus? that your vision is a little bit blurrier than normal, and you kind of wonder, do I need to get my eyes checked? Like, what's going on? That may not be the case. What may be going on is your nervous system is starting to go into sympathetic response, or that fight or flight. And this is a really good reset to do. So take your thumb. You can actually take any object, really, but you always have your thumb. Most people have their thumbs. So take your thumb and put it at a comfortable distance to where you can still see and focus, and just focus on something on your thumb. You can either focus on the nail, you can focus on like the crease on the thumb, and just look at it. Hold it in front of you. Not like this where it's blurry, but where it's in focus, and just look at it for about 20 seconds. This is our near object. Okay. And now you're going to pick something that's farther away. Pick something that's, I don't know, maybe 10 feet away, and focus on it for 20 seconds. There was my spontaneous breath. So my nervous system is kicking in. All right, now go back to the near object. Go back to looking at your thumb in focus for about 20 seconds. Make sure to breathe. All right, and then pick your far object and look at the far object for about 20 seconds. Hone in on that focal point. Keep breathing. It doesn't have to be like deep belly breaths, but just breathe naturally. Okay, good. And relax. All right. I'm going to actually reassess that, my range of motion. You can do the same if you'd like, and just kind of see how much range of motion do you have in your neck. And are they going to get better each time? They need to start improving. That means that, again, your muscles are relaxing and you're getting more range of motion. Your nervous system is kicking in, doing it. Your parasympathetic nervous system is kicking in, doing its job to calm your nervous system. Okay. All right. Next. A little bit behind on time, so I might speed up a little bit on these. Okay. This one is ear tugs and ear holds. So these are quite easy. You quite literally just tug on your earlobe. You can, tug at the top of the ear. You can play around with the ear. You can massage, inside not inside the ear canal, but kind of inside those folds, and just play with it. You may already do this to soothe, and you didn't know that it was a soothing action. You may do this maybe when you're speaking in public, or someone's talking to you at a party, and you may kind of tug on your ears. It's a soothing action, your nervous system. So go ahead and play around with that. You can also just take your finger and just put it behind your ear, in that little divot behind your ear where the skull meets the neck, and just hold it. And it kind of looks like you're intuitively listening. You're in tune to the person you're talking to when you're doing that. Interesting. And they don't know that you're regulating your nervous system through this acupuncture point. It's actually an acupuncture point called triple warmer that you are touching right there. So these are ear tugs and ear holds. Simple thing to do. All right. So now what we're going to do is, one more of these before we move on to some of the tapping stuff. I'm not going to have time to do all the tapping points, but I at least wanted to teach this one. So this next one, speaking of triple warmer is an acupuncture point. It's a meridian, actually. A meridian are pathways of energy, invisible pathways of energy that go through the body. Triple warmer is our fight or flight response. So when triple warmer gets aggravated, then we're going to start to creep up into that fight or flight response where we feel like we want to either lash out at someone, we want to fight, or we want to flee. We want to run away. We want to go and hide and get under the covers. So that's fight or flight response. So triple warmer, when triple warmer is too stimulated, then we're going to start to get into like an anxiety or a panic mode. So there is a way to trace the triple warmer meridian and calm down the fight or flight response. So triple warmer meridian, it actually starts at the fourth finger. It starts, but I'm going to go backwards. So we're gonna start here at the temple. We're going to go behind the ear. Do you ever do that? Do you ever smooth your hair behind your ear when you're nervous? Do you ever kind of do that? That's another soothing action that you may not know is based in ancient traditional Chinese medicine. So just do that. Just do that a couple times. Just kind of smooth your hair behind your ears. And it's very soothing. It actually just gave me a little bit of goosebumps right there. So just kind of do that. Just do that a couple of times. You can take it farther. It's not the whole thing, but you can just do that. You can do it with both hands if you want. Or you can do it with one hand. And then the rest of that is tracing the meridian down the arm. Make sure you get the elbow, going across the forearm, and then going out the fourth finger. That's the whole triple warmer meridian. So it kind of looks like this if you're doing it with one hand. And that's, you can do that discreetly. No one knows like what you're doing right here. You can do that discreetly where they don't really know. Oh, are you tracing this meridian? Can't tell. If you do it with both hands, it looks like this. And cross and then get both and then go out the fourth finger. That's what that looks like. So it's pretty discreet, maybe not the crossing of the arms, but someone sees that. It just kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe you're a little chilly. But you can also just do it with one hand and that's it. Or you could just do this part. Just take your hair and just smooth it behind your ears. All right, so that's called the triple warmer smoothie. And since we're talking about triple warmer, which again is our fight or flight response, it's the acupuncture point that corresponds with our fight or flight response. Triple warmer and spleen are masculine and feminine. They go together. So triple warmer robs spleen of its energy. And I'm talking from Chinese medicine standpoint here. So when triple warmer is overactive, then it takes away spleen's energy and we feel depleted. Our adrenals are taxed. So there's a way to bring back energy. There's a way to calm down triple warmer and at the same time give energy back to spleen. And here's how you do it. It's doing something called the spleen triple warmer hug or the cross my heart. So let's do the spleen triple warmer hug. So spleen is underneath our armpit, a couple inches down from our armpit. Let me stand up for this. So right here for ladies at your bra strap. So put this up here. Okay. So right here, you're going to put an arm right here, or excuse me, put a hand right here. It doesn't matter what side. And then you're going to take the other hand and you're just going to cover the elbow. And you're just going to hold. This is called the spleen triple warmer hug. And you're just going to take some breaths in and out. Okay. Doesn't really look like anything other than you're just crossing your arms. Now, I have had a client say to me, well, it looks like you're mad. It looks like you're sitting there like pissed off. Not necessarily, and it also could look like, you're maybe a little bit chilly or you're just, I see people do this all the time, just kind of resting their arms in a comfortable position. But if you're that worried about people thinking that you look angry, then just don't do this one. Pick another one. Another version of this is called Cross My Heart. So this is a double spleen if you want to give spleen back some energy. So you just simply put one hand over one side and then you cross and put your hand on the other and you just hold your thumbs up like this. And you just kind of sit like this. This would be good if you're like in a business meeting and you have a table that you can rest your arms on. So just kind of sit like this and giving spleen back some energy, calming down. If you want to calm down triple warmer, then you're going to take one of your hands and hold the elbow, because this is one of the triple warmer points. Remember, triple warmer is their fight or flight. So you want to calm that down by simply just holding it and just relaxing it. Our hands are very magnetic because of the blood flow, the positive ions. So we can also maybe try warming up our hands a little bit and giving hands some magnetic energy, and then holding the certain area where we need to give it some attention. All right. Let's see. I am definitely running out of time, so I'm going to just, I was going to go through all of the tapping points, but I'm not going to have time. So I'm just going to go through a couple, maybe one or two. So tapping, for those of you who have seen my videos on my channel, you can definitely go back and watch any of my videos on tapping. Several of the live streams I've done previously go into more detail about tapping and how tapping can help calm your nervous system. But tapping is sometimes very obvious because it looks like, you're tapping. So this isn't something really you'd want to do like at the dinner table. Sometimes you can look a little bit like a monkey doing it. But there is a discreet way to do tapping. The most discreet, I'll show you the most discreet points that you can do without people knowing. So the side of the hand, which is called the karate chop point, which is that fleshy part between the pinky and the wrist. This is called the karate chop point. You simply just take your fingers and just tap, tap, tap the side. Or you can rub it. Actually, switch it. So we're talking about tapping, rubbing, and holding. So you can tap, you can rub. You can also make a fist if you want and just rub. Or you can just hold. Can just hold it. And you can do this very discreetly underneath a table or putting it in your lap, holding the side of your hand and just putting it in your lap, or tapping underneath of a table. This is also your small intestine meridian. So any stomach issues, stomach is bothering you, anxiety, you can tap, tap, tap this point. Give it some love. And you can do that discreetly underneath the table or in your lap. All right. And then there's the collarbone. That's the other point that I'll show. The collarbone point can be discreet. Normally it would look like this if you're going to tap, you're going to do some tapping. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You could take one hand and just hold over the entire collarbone. You could just kind of touch and hold. And right away, my nervous system went into a spontaneous breath. So my nervous system is trained to know that when I give this area some attention, that it's going to start immediately calming down. So you can also do both hands if you want. This feels good to you to just kind of cross both hands over either your heart area or your collarbone. And just take a couple of breaths in and out. One last point, and then we'll wrap. Between the fourth and fifth finger right there is called the gamut point. And this is also falls along the triple warmer meridian line, again, which is our fight or flight response. So you can tap, tap, tap between the fourth and fifth finger, which is called the gamut point. And it should relax that triple warmer response, that fight or flight response. And you can do this anywhere. You can hold it down in your lap. You can literally just hold the point. You can rub that area between the fourth and fifth finger. You can tap on it, whatever feels good to you. And keep doing it until you feel that shift, until you feel that either that sigh, that spontaneous breath, or maybe you start yawning. That's a good sign too, that your nervous system is kicking in. Maybe you swallow. I just swallowed right there. So these are all signs that I know that my nervous system is kicking in. All right. So I hope that those were some helpful tools for you to use wherever, whether it's at a family gathering, whether it's at a holiday dinner, whether you're at a business meeting, whether you're at a party, a social gathering, whatever, and you don't want anyone to know that you need to reduce your anxiety and calm down your nervous system. All right. So for those of you who are interested in getting some information about resources, I'll talk for a few minutes about first of all how you can get in touch with me. If you liked the work that I did tonight, then here are a couple of ways that you can continue to follow me. Okay, the first is my website right there. My name is, again, Leah Petrucci, and here's my website, leahpetrucci.com. A lot of things are on my website, a lot of ways to get in touch with me. You can get on my newsletter, you can get on my email list if you'd like to stay in the know about all the work and the projects that I'm doing in both my counseling and my coaching practices. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Holistic Healing Network. If you want to get notifications for when these live streams happen, which is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, if you'd like to get notifications, then go to my YouTube channel at Holistic Healing Network and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and you'll get notified whenever I have new videos that are released or whenever the live streams are coming up. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. If you would like to volunteer for this project, which is the online gathering place, we are always looking for volunteers. You don't have to be a licensed mental health counselor like me to do these activities. You can lead, the audience in whatever activity you want. A lot of times we'll do fun things. You can do, relaxing things, whatever it is that you would like to lead the group in, as long as it's, for the purpose of reducing stress and boosting mood, then send us an email. And if you have some free time and you'd like to volunteer for the online gathering place, send us an email at theonlinegatheringplace@gmail.com. And let's see what else. Oh, yes. I told you that I would talk to you about resources. If you want to get your hands on some essential oils, some really good quality essential oils, I have two brands that I really like that I have put some information in the show notes. And you should be able to access that on the Facebook group and Instagram. But if not, and you need these links, then go to my YouTube channel at Holistic Healing Network and go under the live tab, and you'll find the video for today, which the topic is invisible grounding, secret techniques for stress relief. But pretty much, I think almost every video I put links for getting either doTERRA essential oils, or there's another brand that I like called Vibrant Blue Oils. And I have some coupon codes for you if you'd like to try out some of those products. So make sure you check out the links that are in the show notes underneath the YouTube video. Hopefully they're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And tapping. Tapping, we didn't get to go through as much as I would have liked, but tapping is a wonderful, easy way to calm the nervous system. And there's an app that I absolutely love called the Tapping Solution. I'm going to put that up here. So find the Tapping Solution app on your phone, download it. There's a free version But there's also a version that you can get, and I have a link that will get you 50% off of an annual premium version. I will also include that link in the show notes. So I think that is about it for tonight, folks. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Join me next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m., where I'm going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and how to set goals for yourself. So we're going to be talking about tips to set SMART goals, what are called SMART goals. It's actually an acronym, SMART. So join me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and see you next time.